Lawrence boys here, though, in the 250 category. Obviously, pulling out for visa issues was the, I think, the reason given, wasn't it? Or something like that.
But those were legit issues. I did some digging around. There really was a visa issue with COVID.
Oh, no, I wasn't messing. I was just saying,
yes,
it was just what we've heard. Yeah, that was the official reason.
You know, I had one of the riders tell the story in the main event about the Lawrence brothers, but they told me an interesting thing. Here we go.
15-second board is up. It's about to turn to 5. Main event, 12 minutes plus a lap. So we're expecting around 20 laps here for the final race the day before they do it all over again. This time, Kenny Roczen in gate number 1 up the inside. Tomac out, and he closes him down immediately. Rocket start from Tomac once again. Webb there in second, and Tomac with the Oxmodo hole shot. Where is Brayton this time around? Well, Roczen is there in second. Muscan is there in second place. Webb in third on the back straight. The orange helmet of Aranda is fourth. Then is that Kenny there?
I think that's Kenny in a sixth, it looks like. And Paul, like I said, it's boom or bust on that inside gate sometimes. That's what happens with these guys. And Kenny busted. Nice strategy, but Tomac outgated him, and that was all it took.
He's definitely got his starts on point as Roczen looks to try and find his way past Aranda. Out of the finish turn, over the finish line jump, and then running down here into this corner. Can he find a way through, yes or no? Not quite. Number 20 there, Greg Aranda going after Cooper Webb. Oh, yeah, Roczen blitzes around the outside of Aranda through the whoops. Absolutely impressive speed from the number 94, who now moves up into 4th place. Aranda in 5th, Brayton in 6th. Not a good start, but better than his race 2 start.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he didn't get to get great.
Gets past Aranda there through the rhythm section as well. Moves up into 5th place.
Yeah, JB's got some work ahead of him for sure. But you know what? He's been better than the KTM boys in the whoops. So that's where his strength's got to lay here. He's got 10 minutes to go to get these guys in the whoops and line them up and try to do the same everywhere else on the track.
Listen to the atmosphere as Marvin Muscan hits the fan zones on 3 sides of the arena here. But Cooper Webb in 3rd, under intense pressure from Roczen. Not seeing too many riders make any passes there in the turn just before the whoops. But again, Roczen blitzes past. This time, Cooper Webb, who then runs him to the outside. Still not done. It is now Roczen up into 2nd place on lap 2.
Roczen into 3rd, right behind Cooper Webb. Marvin's 2nd right now. Eli Tomac looking like, might be a long night for everybody else in this main event. He's looking on point right now.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds clear. Eli Tomac from Marvin Muscan. Roczen now 3rd, Webb 4th, Brayton 5th. Brayton has been solid and strong through the whoops all night long. So too is Kenny Roczen, who's now up into 3rd place. He's got about, 1.2 or 3 seconds to make up on Marvin Muscan. His lap time last time around was a 44, almost identical time, both in the 44.5s. Here's Brayton going after Webb in the whoops.
Yeah, unbelievable whoop speed for Brayton and Roczen, as they've done it all night long. I think they're both going to end up going by the KTM teammates at some point in this race, as long as they don't make any other major mistakes. That 3-4 on that side, that's real big, man. Those guys, they're doing it with ease, but trust me, when you look at some of the guys further in the pack, it's not that easy.
Nah. So Tomac leads the way. Wheel tap that time around. Mostly the 450s we mentioned earlier. The 450 is able to seat bounce and get over that, but for some reason deciding to wheel tap that time around. 43.8 lap time for Tomac on lap 3. He's on lap 4. He's 2.5 seconds clear of the Martian. Marvin Muscan, his time was a 44.6, a tenth slower than Roczen. So those two pretty much stabilized in that 2nd and 3rd, about 2 seconds, 2.5 apart as they hit the back straight. There you see that quad section in the middle and then a double for Roczen.
And Brayton pulls out of that 3-4. He couldn't do it that lap. Webb snuck away a little bit. He cased the 3 in a little bit and backed out of it. And so Webb pulls a little bit of gap on the number 10, Justin Brayton, which again, we think Brayton's a lot better in the whoops. That's where he's going to get him, but he's got to get closer to where he is right now. You know, Brayton told me he was going to wear blue gear all night long.
Yeah.
And he's changed for this 3rd race. I wonder if that bad luck in race 2 affected the gear for this race, because, Paul, as you know, you riders are weirdos. So maybe something happened.
Yeah, when you said he's changed it, I was thinking, yeah, maybe it's one of those, okay, I'm not wearing blue gear the rest of the weekend right now. Yeah, I won't wear it next year either.
We may never see blue gear on Justin Brayton ever again.
He's closing in on Cooper Webb, though. Yeah, that's a big gap, but with not a lot of room to maneuver on that back straight.
Marvin Muscan said his fastest lap of the race that last time around, a 44.4. Still got some work to do to get to Eli Tomac, but Marv's on the go anyways with his fast lap.
Cooper Webb loses the front end on the exit of the final turn there. That's going to allow Brayton just to close in on him. Talking of which, Roczen is starting to find something here on Musquin. Rapid speed at the end of the whoops. They're all over the back of the Red Bull KTM rider is the Honda Genuine rider, number 94. Eli Tomac, though, on a different planet, in a different zip code. 4 seconds clear of Musquin after just 5 laps. We're on lap 6.
Boy, if you're Ken Roczen, you got to be frustrated at that start. You did all the right things. You won the race. You could pick the inside gate. You got to be frustrated. You never even saw him.
But then a start like that is probably the reason that he talked himself out of gate 1 in the first race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we'll probably know tomorrow.
Yeah, here's a replay. Marv getting a little buck wild. We've seen that a few times tonight. And Kenny trying to close in here. He's getting close to Kenny. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go plus a lap.
Look at the speed difference.
Unbelievable.
Got traffic ahead of him, though. Has to switch his line. Can't set the pass up here. Marvin Musquin on borrowed time here, it would appear. Steve Mathis,
I would think so, right? We're looking at this lap, coming around, get him at the end of the whoops, and try to sneak by him that way. And if you're Marvin Musquin, you know it's coming too.
And Marvin is normally very good on the whoops in Paris.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Marv is no slouch on the whoops. He's maybe not on Roczen level, but the gap in America or here isn't this big, and it is this big right now. Got a rider down in the whoops. Yamaha rider, can't see what number it is.
Oh, rider's gone down as well. Who was it that's hit him? Was that Webb? No, but that might have affected Kenny's run right there through the whoops. Might have been Killian Paul, 589 maybe.
Yep. We're just hoping also that Alex Ray doesn't go down. He's gone down both of the other main events. Paul, I told him, do the laps. Just do the laps, A-Ray.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. Don't crash.
Roczen almost had a Marvin moment there, coming out of that little scrub hill.
He did have some sparks fly out from his frame again. And yeah, here's the section here. Crowd is imploring Marvin to get going. They got their inflatable drumstick things are going on, and they want Marvin to hold off the German.
He needs these 2 points, because as it stands right now with Eli Tomac's lead, the biggest it's been all night, for almost 4.5 seconds. Marvin couldn't quite get the drive at the end of the whoops there, and Roczen again closes in. There's going to be a setup for a pass here. He goes triple. He's going to have to hit the brakes, cut back. That's exactly what he does. Marvin was caught, couldn't do anything.
Just turns on a dime, sneaks inside of him. Kenny Roczen takes second from Marvin Musquin. Great riding there. Man, Kenny, he's so smooth, he's so technical, right? I mean, outside of Chase Sexton, does anybody ride a bike better than Ken Roczen?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a replay of it eventually, maybe at the end of the race, but there was nothing else that Marvin could do. He was down on the inside. If you turn tight, you lose the drive. If you go wide because you need the drive down the next straight, Kenny was in the perfect position to attack, set it up perfectly out of the previous turn, and he made it paid off. He's now in second position, a 44.7 compared to a 46.2. That time of your race leader, Eli Tomac. The gap now 3.8, and we're still 4:20 on the clock, plus a lap. Are we going to see Eli Tomac respond here to the threat of Kenny Roczen, or is he now in that zone, Ken Roczen, where he can just say, you know what, this one is still up for the taking?
We didn't see it on the TV screen, but Webb dropped back 2 spots behind Brayton and Cedric Supercross. Super Webb's 6th right now. Not sure if he made a mistake or if Supercross and Brayton just straight out passed him. Not exactly sure, but 6th place for Cooper Webb. Can't make him too happy right now.
Here's Brayton in 4th position. Go back to the blue. JB.
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean, the first main event was absolutely an amazing race. Getting second, and you can see, so we got 3 minutes to go. We've been out there for 8.5 minutes, and a little tiring, right? Now you're starting to feel that burn a little bit. Strength is trying to go away a little bit, so we're seeing some guys maybe a little less on the aggressive meter.
Here's Soup. So Cedric Supercross, he's in 5th position at the moment. The rider that went a little bit skew-whiff in the whoops a moment ago was Kevin Morantz. There, number 80, just being lapped by Supercross.
Kevin Morantz, privateer from America, really a self-made privateer. He's real crowd-funded and does a lot of neat promotions for his sponsors, and he's got a little bit of a fan base going. It's kind of neat what social media can do for riders like that nowadays.
So Tomac, the gap is coming down. It was a half a second a lap ago. It's now coming down again. It's now 2.7 the gap with 3 minutes plus a lap to go.
Do we have a race here, Paul? Do we have a race?
Possibly. Is it squeaky bump time for your race leader? Because Roxon will believe that he will have the measure. He will see that gap coming down.
Yeah.
Is it going to be something?
This is close.
You don't think it, but is it something as simple as arm pump for your race leader? You wouldn't have thought so. A man of that experience.
1.8 second lead only. Kenny has chopped this lead down on Eli Tomac. Either lappers or arm pump or something. Absolutely. Roxon smells blood now. He sees that number 3 there. And I do wonder what's going on a little bit. Did Eli just look down? I don't know if he just looked down on his bike or not. It looked like he may have.
But also, shop window, 2 words spring to mind. Kenny putting himself well and truly in the shop window for 2023 for someone, somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. This is a great ride by Kenny. Real nice comeback. And minute 53 to go, plus a lap. And Kenny can see it, man. This thing's going to get good.
He can taste it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of the final turn, we've still got plenty of time left. 1:43 on the clock as Roxon goes through the gap now, 1.4. The last 4 laps have been kind to Roxon.
They have. I noticed Roxon staying really low in the turns, right? He's trying to stay out of that rut. He's trying to shorten the track up a little bit, stay low in the turns. I think it's working. It looks like Tomac's keeping his kind of old lines. We go 3, 4 into the turn before the rhythm.
Yeah.
Go another 3 and then 4 over the table.
Chopping the lead down even more. Backside, same line through there. 45.3, 44.9. That's 3.5, 4 tenths in it last time around. The course, the head of the course, the head of the field.
3 laps to go. 3 laps to go this time around. So Kenny hold on. A couple lappers coming up.
1.4 stabilizes ever so slightly. Tomac only loses a tenth that time around.
Looks like Eli went a little bit with Kenny's line there. At the end
His speed through the whoops in this late stage of the race. Kenny, that's where he is doing the damage and pulling down the gap. Like I say, Tomac, was he looking down at the bike? Was it something as simple where he maybe dragged a foot peg and couldn't, kick it back down?
Yeah.
And that just rattled him ever so slightly? Or is it that Kenny is just quicker?
Yeah. Well, we got lappers now, and they're in their own battle. It's Aranda and Desprez, I believe, and they are going at it for a position. So they're not going to want to exactly move over for Eli Tomac here.
Yeah, they're 7th and 8th.
Aranda looks back. Aranda gives him a little nod, very classy of the number 20 to do that. So Aranda makes it easy, and Desprez makes it easy as well.
Yeah, 7th and 8th, those two battling for, and they know the leaders are coming through. So look at the difference in whoop speed there.
It's like you in 94 versus me.
That was me in no year.
That was me never. Yeah. Here we go. So yeah, we're coming up to the white flag, and so Kenny's got to make something happen.
Yeah, 1.3 heading into the penultimate lap.
Listen, you're a racer though. Even if it ends up 1 and 2 just like this, if you're Ken Rock Jr. going to bed tonight, knowing what you did, knowing that start, and knowing you caught Eli Tomac, like this thing is far from over.
Oh, absolutely. Put it this way, you won't need a blue diamond tonight.
Oh boy. Last lap, folks, to go here. Last lap in Paris for the night 1. Seen some great action. Oh boy.
Oh, Tomac bobbles on the whoops. Roxon alongside it. Can he do to Tomac what he did to Musquin? Cut to the inside at the end of the straight. Tomac clearly knows there is a threat from behind now. We are half a lap to go. All of a sudden, Roxon all over the back. It was 8 tenths as they hit the line. 2 corners to go. Tomac has sustained the pressure from behind. Roxon just losing out in that final rhythm section, but it's going to be Tomac who secures the win. What a race that was. Steve Mathis, Kenny Roxon lighting the fuse in the second half of that final race here, the main event. Tomac crossed the line, 8 tenths clear of Roxon, but what a fantastic race. And the fans were on their feet, whether, they didn't mind whether Musquin was winning or not. We had a fantastic show between Eli Tomac and Ken Roxon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Pictures on Tomac here. I wonder if he's going to say anything or mention anything about the bike or issues that were going on, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like Jelly, his mechanic, and him are just going straight to the podium. Nice comeback by Tomac. Screws up in the whoops a little bit. A little slower than he wanted. Roxon closed right up. And then now, if you're Eli Tomac, you're like, I got to be perfect. And he was. 500
euros. Shoe money for the wife when he gets back home. That's for the Ox Moto. I think he's took all 3, hasn't he? Taken all 3.
I think so,
Ox Moto pole shots this evening. And he has a 2-point lead heading in tomorrow's program. Got a first, a second, and a first. Puts him on 4 points. There is Eli Tomac taking the Oxmoto hole shot. Kenny Roxon 3-1-2, leaving him on 6 points. Justin Brayton back onto the podium at the moment. He's on 13, tied with Cooper Webb with his 2.74, and Webb going 5.35. Confirmation of the final race then. Eli Tomac wins it from Kenny Roxon, Marvin Muscan, Justin Brayton, and Cooper Webb, with Cedric Subaras, Maxime Dupre, Greg Aranda, Julian Rosali, and Anthony Bourdon, with Kevin Morant, Joanne Cross, Alex Ray, Hugo Basaula, Killian Pohl, and Thomas Ramette.
Good job, A-Ray. You did all the